Hi, I'm Bree from Grafa. Up next, we have Open Game Protocol. You're live with Grafa at Token 2049. We're here streaming from the beautiful Marina Bay Sands in Singapore, and we are thrilled to have our next guest, Justin from Open Game Protocol. Hi, Justin. How are you going?
Hey, yeah, I'm great. Thanks for being. Glad to be here.
Absolutely, glad to have you. Justin, can you tell us what is Open Game Protocol for those who don't know?
Yeah, Open Game Protocol is the simplest way to reward any token that already exists in any game. And what I mean by that is rewarding tokens has been something that requires a lot of development and a lot of time and money. But what we're doing is taking coins everybody knows, like a fart coin or a wrapped Bitcoin or a Doge coin, and allowing people to reward that in their game. So what this means is that token communities can have a lot of new content associated in promoting their token, and games can have a path to getting more users by rewarding tokens that people heard of, that they actually want to earn.
Sounds incredible. I'm going to hit you with another one.
Okay.
How big is the industry for this? You know, because gaming is massive.
Yeah, gaming is huge. And I think crypto gaming has been a small part of it. And everyone's instincts has been that it should be massive. Crypto should transform gaming again. So my last company, we transformed games with freemium business model. We took games on Facebook and mobile. We built games like Farmville. We popularized this new business model that changed the way games are distributed and monetized. Yeah. I think crypto can do that again. Yeah. We've tried a lot of things. Some things have worked, some things haven't. Yeah. But what we're really excited about now is this idea of, you think about game distribution, over $65 billion is spent every single year on just game marketing for mobile. So this is one of the biggest industries. If you look at companies like Facebook or others that run ad networks, often it's half of their revenue is coming from game advertising. Maybe the other half is e-commerce. So this is really one of the largest businesses that there is on the internet.
Sounds incredible. Can you tell us what problem is Open Game Protocol solving?
Yeah, exactly. So we're solving that distribution problem. So if you look at what games are willing to pay for, it's to get new players, right? Yeah. And getting new players become more and more difficult. Even though there's $65 billion spent every single year on mobile game advertising, these advertising channels are getting more and more expensive. But what's interesting is we have these communities that already love tokens like Farcoin or like Doge, and they want content to bolster the attention that gets on their ecosystem, right? Yeah. So how do you create new incentives for those tokens to be rewarded in games very easily? All the game companies that have existed in crypto so far have been focused on games making their own assets. Yeah. What we're doing is saying we're taking the top assets and allowing the games to reward them. So we're coming at this problem from a different angle. So it comes down to distribution. Game developers want distribution. Yeah. These tokens will provide them new players, because players will be excited to earn tokens they've heard of, and then players will be excited to earn top tokens.
Absolutely. I think you've already touched on my next question, which is how does this all work?
Yeah, so it's actually quite interesting. So what we've allowed these token communities to do is launch their own game ecosystem token. So what I mean by that is, if the Fartcoin community gets excited about making a game ecosystem token, they can come together and they can vote to launch one. And actually they launch a new token where the people who voted to launch the Fartcoin game coin will be rewarded with this game coin. Yeah. When this game coin trades, some of the trading fees will go to fund the rewards that will then go to game developers who build games for Fartcoin. So what we're doing is gathering the interest, all of the people who think that a Fartcoin game ecosystem could be really interesting and exciting, and when they vote and invest and trade this currency, the rewards that are generated are then go to pay the developers to make this a reality. So you can almost think of it as like a patronage system. In the early days, it's, wow, wouldn't it be great if we had these games to be associated with our token? But then in the long run, game developers can come buy this game coin, and the more of the game coin they own and they stake against their game, the more of the rewards their players get. So that means maybe they get more distribution, right? So in the long run, this could be a new marketing channel for game companies to say, we want to be associated with Dogecoin. We're going to buy a bunch of the Dogecoin game coin, and we're going to stake and vote that against our game, so we have the most Dogecoin rewards.
Wow. Which obviously would attract users.
Exactly, yeah. The more rewards there are, the more users there are. So this becomes another way, other than just an advertising channel, to attract more users.
It's a genius idea, actually.
Well,
and
appreciate it.
did you come up with it?
Yeah, I mean, not quickly. Through a lot of trial and error and pain. I've been in the game space for a long time. So I mentioned my last company, I started it in 2007, right? So very in touch with like what game developers want. And then I spent a lot of time in crypto trying to understand what traders want, right? Because this has been the challenge in crypto with games is how do you make assets that traders love to trade and that players also want to use in the game. This has been challenging because they kind of want a different set of things. So what we're doing with this is saying the game coins are not something that is spent in the game. They're the way that you determine where the rewards go. So they're more of a governance token that actually, where the traders can trade it and really enjoy trading it, and they can act as publishers almost, where they're saying where the rewards should go. So the community is deciding which games are the best games for their ecosystem, and then game developers can come and buy it too, and participate in each of these game coin ecosystems. This is like getting rid of the idea that this game coin has to be used in the games in a way that makes it really challenging for players, where they're saying, oh, the price is fluctuating, my game assets prices are going up and down in ways that make it hard to play.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So my final question for you is, how does this matter for the future of gaming?
Yeah, I mean, the future of gaming, what we're seeing is creation is changing. And every time we get a new games business model and a new means of distribution, you get new content. It's the same as video, right? Or like this. Like this is a format and an interview that maybe we wouldn't do 5 years ago. But today it's fitting the channels and the content that we see on social media, right? And so games are also going through an evolution again. It went from packaged goods to freemium, where games became free, we pay for the items, this through apps. Now games are going to become more like content, where they need to be associated with these other things to maintain attention, just like video and music and images and everything else. So AI is at the forefront of this. So when you think about this protocol, you got to be thinking, what does AI do for the creation of games? Suddenly, these coins that maybe people wouldn't be able to create content for before, now they can, very quickly and very easily. And so a Fartcoin game, who's going to develop one of those? Well, it turns out AI now makes that something that can happen very quickly. People can take games they've built for years and swap assets and make it about Fartcoin very quickly with AI, and new people will be able to create games, and they're going to need a way to get discovered. They're going to need a way to monetize. So what this is really about, the future of games is about everyone is a creator. And the question is, how do they get discovered and how do they monetize, which is the same as every other form of content. So that's what's about to happen in games.
Absolutely. I feel like you've really cornered an angle in the market that wasn't there before, and it's really in the favor of creators and innovators.
That's what we hope to do, right? Create a bottoms-up community-first way to support people making amazing content around the communities that already exist, and to see if we can grow it into something that the whole industry wants to use.
Well, that's absolutely incredible, Justin. Thank you for your time, and good luck with it all.
I appreciate it. Great questions. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. You've been live with Justin from Open Game Protocol at Token 2049. For more news and interviews, download the Grafa app or head to grafa.com.